welcome. My name's Helene, and this is a channel where I talk mostly about my knitting and spinning and the crafting that I'm up to. I also talk about our fiber farm called Skybrook Farm, where we raise registered sheep, specifically Shetland and Romney, that we've done with our alpaca fiber, and then a little bit about being beekeepers here, and just life on the farm. Whatever crafty thing we're getting up to is what we're talking about. So yeah, this video's taking a little bit longer to get out than I'd hoped, but we've just been really busy. School year started back, and we went to the beach last week, which is, it's wonderful to get away, as always, but sometimes vacations are also tiring. And then for us with the farm, like all farmers, it's hard to leave the farm because inevitably every time we leave, something happens. And this one was no exception. So it's always, I don't know, things that never happen during when we're here always happen. The sheep are like having parties while we're gone. Itself has gone by just with farming, a lot of farming activities, which I'll talk about later. That way, if you are not interested in the farm, you could just skip, you could listen to the end when I start talking about the farm. And this is actually the second or third time I've actually tried to record this, and I tried to do it on the front porch because it was really nice, but there was just too much background noise, and I can't get my microphone working somehow. So, I will put at the end though, Levi, well, eventually all the kids came out to visit during that first time I recorded just to see what was going on. And Levi told a very cute story, which I will probably include in the end of this. So feel free to skip it if that doesn't interest you either. So this month was also for my knitting and crafting. It was it's not disappointing because it was, the specific part that I'm thinking about is the albini sweater, a cardigan. I was really disappointed, and I wanted to cast on, I think at the end of the last video, like that day, because I thought I had enough yarn. Remember, it was like the, do I have enough yarn? Yes, no, yes, no. The answer is I do not. In this, she just has a DK weight yarn, and I thought that this would be, since it was what the sample was made out of, it didn't even cross my mind to think that it was done as, it was held double, because it doesn't say anything like that, and I just was spacing out, I guess. So this was the sample that I knit up. I hope that comes out. If not, I'll put a picture there. But, and to be honest, I'm glad, well, this is the reason why we sample, right? It wouldn't have worked out. I'm also very disappointed in the yarn. I mean, I knew, so this was the yarn that she does in the sample that she calls for, and we talked about how, like, they don't, like, this is discontinued. And honestly, I'm not surprised, actually. So when I think of this wool, I feel like Rich wool got in this. It's not that it's poor quality, because I'm sure it would hold up. It just feels really scratchy and dry. And even here, it felt that way, but I thought that once it was washed, some of them, even our Romney sheep, it'll soften after the first wash or two. This doesn't. This feels like there's like Rich wool, which for those of you who don't know, it's like the back end, the back flank of the sheep that they lay on that gets the dirtiest. It's not quite like thirds, which is like the belly wool that gets felted, but it doesn't feel good. So usually like your seconds are what they make like dryer balls out of, or some of the stuff that's not going to be in a garment next to skin. Some people may use it for socks, but for the most part, it's just used, I don't know, as garden compost. I don't know, it just depends. No, if you're trying to use all of it, you would find a thing for it. But anyway, it never goes into your yarn that you're going to probably use in a sweater. It just doesn't feel nice. And that's what this feels like to me, especially in that swatch. So I think that, I was thinking that I might hold it double. Like, I think last time I showed you this skein just randomly because I was thinking about the Scotch broom. So these were the singles that I spun up, a year ago. There's probably 1,000 yards here, maybe. It was a 3 Waters Farm colorway called Quiet Contrast. And I think I have another 8-ounce somewhere in here. I think they're, well, maybe I don't. Maybe this is all 8 ounces. I'll have to look at my notes and see. But anyway, I was thinking about holding this double, and maybe that would come out to more of a DK weight. but I'd have to swatch again for that. And I'm just not sure that, I don't know if I want to waste my singles yarn. I mean, they're both singles yarn. Let me start there. They're both singles yarns. I could either hold them double, or I could probably send them through and card them or ply them together. But I think that because they've already been felted, it would make an issue because they're both essentially as balanced as they can be as a single. Yeah, we can get into the spinning part on another episode. But anyway, I think it'll change it. I'll have to swatch and see if this works or not and then do a gauge again. So anyway, I got really frustrated and I was like, oh, that's not working out. So just to switch pages, I decided to cast on another sweater that's been on my queue for a while called the Dreyma Sweater, which is another Jennifer Steingas color yoke. I just love her, I don't want to say recipe because it's a wedge style increase for the yoke, and her yoke depth always seems to come out right for me, which is right like that 7.5 come out really well. I don't have to do anything, which is nice. I mean, you know. So I did my first swatch, which is this littler one. No. Yes. Which was this one, and I did not get gauge. This is, she recommends using a 5 needle for the rib and then 6 for the body. I went up a size for both, and I got perfect gauge. So those are my 2 swatches, and yeah, I hope those are coming out right. But I'm excited. This is Our Wool. It's one of my favorite use, Dora. She's one of the original flock, and she's a Romney. We don't have many of the dark gray, like that gunmetal kind of charcoalish gray. Most of them, what we have are the silver. It's still a beautiful rich silver, but it's not this dark, and we don't have any black, and we have quite a few white. So Dora is extra special because she's part of our original use, and yeah, I quite like the way that they are knitting up. So anyway, she is the main base. And then on the other ones I had were, well, I should show you this first. So this is the yoke. It goes this way and it's sitting up. I just love the way these colors are coming out. It goes like this. I think the only thing I would change on this so far, like these are all our yarns here on the farm, is that in the pattern it talks about like a dark gray, a light gray, and then a white. But on ours, I think that these 2 grays work out well together, which I brought the cards out. This is Hazel, Lacey, and Carson, which is this medium gray. And then there's another Hazel. So, and this will be confusing. They're 2 different weights. They're essentially 2 different yarns. The mill just added, when we talked about when it adds 25% merino, they either added a white merino or a black merino, which gives it that color difference when we added it in. So it's 75% Romney, 25% merino, which just makes for a beautiful handle. The stitch definition is just glorious. But on this one, there's a stark line here that runs across from gray to white. And I'm not sure... I'm sure if I wear it, it's not going to bother me, but right now I'm just like, ooh, maybe I should have picked like a lighter gray, but I'm not going to go back and change it, which sounds silly because you're going to wear it forever. But in the end, like I think it's just me because I'm looking right at it. I think over time, I don't think it's going to bother me as much as I think it's going to, or at least I hope not. So, and then I finished the short rows while we were at the beach. I was putting them off for a while because I have to do the short rows, or I prefer to do short rows when I can do it all at once. I'm sure most people do. If I have to take a break, I kind of get lost with where my wraps are. Even if I mark it, somehow I always get off. So I put my safety line in while we were at the beach, and then I did my short rows while the kids were taking a nap or playing together with their cousins. So yeah, and then for those of you who don't know, you add short rows to lift. You can see how the collar back here is lifted. So it just adds, like the bottom here matches and then the top here is lifted. And that's so that you have extra fabric that comes up the back of your neck, which is more flattering. Otherwise it would, if it sits round your anatomy of your body, the back is higher. So it'll make that front line kind of choke you a little bit. It's not comfortable, it's not flattering. And it makes the sweater not reversible. So it just kind of sit better, it's more flattering. And yeah, I really enjoy the way that short rows just kind of takes the sweater to the next level. So I'm loving it. I mean, I just finished the yoke. It went by really quick. Usually it's not that I'm getting more time to knit. This just worked up really quickly. I mean, it probably just seems that way because it's the fun part of the sweater, and the stocking it'll probably take me months. So yep, so I've been working pretty much on that one until I got to the short rows, and then I kind of switched projects, which I'm really excited about. And, but first let me talk about, I have not finished the socks. Surprise, surprise. They're kind of, I'm just not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying the socks. And it's not because I don't like knitting socks. It's just that 1x1 rib with that yarn. Even though I did it with my hand spun, it's twisted. So like, it's balanced, but it has extra energy, which is what that whole point of the hand spun sock was when I was doing it with the Rachel Smith video. She puts extra twists in her singles, so that way you get a tighter yarn, and the idea that with a tighter yarn, it would take wear better. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. We'd have to just wear these for a while and test the wear. So when you're working with it, it's balanced. It has just a slight extra twist. Like if you're looking at a hank that's, I don't even know that I think I could show you. Like if you have, let's see if these are balanced. Let's try this. So on this one, for example, and this has been sitting for a while, but oh well, it's laying flat anyway. So we fluff that up a little bit. So see how this kind of just hangs, let me see, I have them in the frame. If it just kind of hangs flat, right? There's no extra twist. This one, if you saw it in a hang form, it would probably still stay like this. And I should have brought those socks up and I didn't. I'll show you the next one. But what that means is with the extra twist, as I'm working with it and pinching the yarn, there's extra twist that's always having to be straightened out like a curly Q, which makes it annoying to do the next stitch, which I already find annoying because I'm having to go back and forth with my own ridiculous tensioning for knitting, which I still have not mastered the change. But I mean, I will get it done. I just need to make sure that, I just need to get up 10 minutes earlier and do 2 rows a day and they'd be done in no time. And then I wouldn't have to keep thinking about, man, I really wish I hadn't spent all those hours spinning for socks and not finished knitting up the socks, which is pretty much done. I just have like an inch of cuff left, so shame on me. So I did cheat and I went ahead and cast on for the Latvian mittens. And then again, I'm kind of changing myself too with the, with my swatch. I'm sure you're probably not supposed to do this, but I did it anyway. There are 2 different needle sizes in the same swatch. I had to order these needles. These are, I think, a 000. Yeah, 000, 1.5 millimeter. I ordered these, they're the Knitter's Pride Carbons. Oh, here's one that's sticking out there. Sorry, it's super fine, so I don't even know if that'll show up. I'm really enjoying it because like for the bend, there's a little bit of give, but not like I'm gonna bend it. It feels really nice to my hand and it's light, it's not hard, and somehow like that tip, I usually use the Chiagu needle. Sorry, I don't know if that'll show up or not, but I'm doing all these crazy hand motions. I'm doing the Chiagu needles mostly, and these feel like they're a better point than those. I have a pair of double pointed needles for those in like ones, which is like a, I don't know, I'd have to look that up. Ooh, like a 2.25 or something. So I had to order these in the 1.5, and I also had to order them for the 1.75. So, and they're not that expensive. It was like, I don't know, $8 a pair or something, which I mean, I don't want to order them over and over again, but if I'm gonna do it anyway. So this is the swatch and I think it's coming out beautifully. I do prefer the tighter gauge of the 1.5, unfortunately. There's a lot of extra rows apparently of knitting, but it just feels like a denser fabric. And I think I'll like it better for mittens for wear. So anyway, I feel like I was gonna go a couple more inches with the swatch to make sure that I can get to see what the gauge is. And I'll get a better book review of that book, the big book of Latvian mittens I think I mentioned last time. I'll get a better book review once I start working with it. The other problem, it's not a problem, but the other thing was the colors that I picked, there's no pattern in that book that I'm like, oh man, that would go perfect with the yarn that I bought. The patterns in it are gorgeous. There's like 100 and some patterns, but they don't use any of the colors that I did, and I can't see my colors transferring to those because I don't want, I don't want like a light green mitten. I really wanted like the white with like the color work inside. But anyway, so we'll just figure that out as we get there. And I think that that's, like I said, I will not cast on the Latvian mittens until the socks are done. So, but that was at least my version of cheating on the project. The other one I'm really excited about is this one. So there's a girl called, well, her channel is Mishi Fraz Knits. I know it's Mishi Fraz, I don't know if it's Mishi Fraz Knits. I'll put a link below. But she has a cute YouTube channel on here. She's got 2 cats, I think they're named Tuna and Bagel. Anyway, I saw her, she had a call for test knitters. And I've never done a test knit before. And I I don't know, I've wanted to, even though I don't know if I've always had the time commitment to do it, especially because most of them that I see are for sweaters. And yeah, but she put up a call for test knitters for this beautiful cowl. And I just love it, especially when she talked about like where the motif, like the idea came from the Secret Garden, and she'd been working on it for a while, like one of those old English gardens. It will be a cowl, a Mobius cowl, where so like I'm just about finished with my second chart repeat, which will have just this band here. So I have another band like this up here, and that's 2 repeats, and it's 2.5. So then it'll have that plus another like section like this. And then you take off the provisional cast on, and then after you block it, you'll twist it and put it together. So it'll kind of sit up against your neck. I just love this. And I love this yarn. I haven't worked with this yarn before. It is that Beaches and Bushes, if I'm saying that right, La Petite, sorry, lamb's wool. It's like a 100% UK lamb's wool. This colorway is gray beige, and the maroon that I picked is dark burgundy gray, I think is the name of that colorway. And I have my project bag here. I just have this little ball left to finish the other one, and I hope that shows up well. It is the most beautiful burgundy. It is like, it's got like the purples, little flecks in it, and some orange where they blended it together and left some of the colors, not quite completely blended. I hope that showed up. It is just, I mean, I can't even do it. I tried to take pictures of it to post my progress of the cowl, and I have a hard time getting it to show up in person. It is just a beautiful, just interesting color, which I think just adds to, like, it's not just like it is a tonal, but it's not just like a flat, solid color. Like, it has some beautiful color and texture to it. And so I've been working on this, I don't know, feels like a lot. I timed myself per row because it's a test, and like, man, do I really have time to get it done? At the end of the test date is September 30th. So hopefully, I mean, I'm sure I'll have it done because this is 2 repeats. I just have left. So I timed myself, and it takes me like 8 minutes a row. So I was, well, in the hard part. So I don't want to show her pattern. But I did make myself a little chart like this for the beach. I mean, when I took it to the beach, I was smart enough to make myself like a cheat sheet, but not smart enough to apparently like cut it down to make it like a travel size. So I laminated this, and then I was getting distracted by the lines, because there's like an 86 line repeat, so I was getting confused what they are. They have ones that you can buy that would make it easy, but I just took the kids' construction paper and in 5 minutes made up this little thing that I can slide around to see what I'm supposed to be coloring on the color row. So, which was handy, and because it fell in the pool once in the wind. I mean, I can't get in the pool with Nolan. He's just little. So he couldn't get in the water because it was cold. Even though it's still September, the pool gets kind of chilly for them. And yeah. So anyway, so I was sitting by the pool, I took a nap, and I knit. So I'm just loving this. I just love the way this is. And yeah, the other thing is, if maybe you guys know and can help me, there's a place that actually just happened today that my other son at his baseball game came up to me with like barbecue chips, and we got a spot on the wool. If you guys have tips for getting stains out of wool, I have another sweater too that had a coffee stain on it, surprise, surprise, and I'm not sure how to get it out. So if you guys have suggestions on getting stains out of wool, I mean, I haven't Googled it, but if you guys have tricks that have always worked on getting stains out of light colored wool, I don't want to get, I mean, it happened today. I thought about spraying it with like something or just washing that spot, but I don't want to mess up the blocking, which it probably won't because it's just a small section. But anyway, if there's a tip, please let me know. So yeah, that's what I've been working on, and I'm really excited to wear this. It's done as a tube. I should have said that. It's done as a tube. So this wool is so lightweight and squishy that it's not like, it's really warm without being like I'm sweating, and I can't wear it if you like went outside and then back in. It's just a very comforting weight, I guess, very comfortable weight. And I also got these cute little, I should have brought the tag. I brought these cute little stitch stoppers or needle stoppers so that it won't go. I usually use the little rubber ones, but they're constantly getting stuck in my bag and popping off, and I've lost stitches quite a bit lately. And in color work, I was afraid, well, just because I don't know that I could pick up stitches that are, like if I lost all these stitches with the floats, I don't know that it would take me hours to pick up stitches in color work, because it's not like it's 3, 3, 3, and 3. It's like every other stitch is a different color. There might be some that are together. So unless you knew how many rows down that run went, I don't know, I think I would struggle with it. So anyway, so I got some nicer stoppers to keep it in place to help me stay on track. Hello again. You guys will not know how many times I've had to cut the video with boy arms. I'm out of time, which, I mean, I knew I'd have limited time. Anyway, Nolan woke up from a nap. Levi came to visit several times. Maybe sometime I'll put in the bloopers because they're kind of funny. He's telling a story or needs help with his iPad or something. And anyway, I just want to talk to you about the shawl real quick. Hey, Nolan, can I put this on your back real quick? So this is a Cheryl, ooh, my first mosaic knitting shawl pattern. I know that doesn't feel great, does it? I'm sorry, baby. A Cheryl Faust pattern. It was my first mosaic knitting. And I had a lot of fun working it up. It was made from Brooklyn Tweed's Prairie, which I don't think they make that base anymore. It was in their black. And the variegated colors is a spin cycle yarn, but I can't remember the colorway name. And it was mosaic knitting. If I could do it again, I think I would do it bigger, even though I think it's a great size. I think now there's been a pattern edit, or maybe I didn't notice it when I was doing it, but it now has a larger size option. And if I had been, I guess, a more advanced knitter at the time, I would have just put in a safety line and tried to modify the pattern to make it bigger myself, but I didn't even think about doing that. I just kept going. I was like, oh, I guess it's as big as it gets. And I had extra yarn left over, so there was plenty of room. I love the weight of this. It's very nice. It's thin enough for days like now where we're transitioning into like true fall and post like just summer. So it's nice in the mornings. And I love shawls that just kind of sit on my shoulders. I can't really wear, I don't know how to wear the A-line. I call it A-line, it's not an A-line, but the ones you kind of bunch in the front, which this one could be too. I don't really know how to wear those. And I don't want the heat necessarily like right here on my chest or my neck. I'd rather wear another sweater, but I like it on my shoulders to make it warmer, make my shoulders feel warm. So I find like these type shawls very nice. Like I love like a shawl, or even like a blanket in a triangle form. So I really enjoy wearing this. It's just a lot of knitting, which I find mosaic knitting is because it's not true color work. It's like you're knitting a row and slip stitching and then you're going back. So like to feel real progress, you have to do like 2 rows. It's nice if you're only working with one color at a time. And yeah, I have another Cheryl Faust project in my Ravelry queue, and I have the pattern already. I just need to cast it on. It's just a lot of knitting, and you know, out of the 10,000 things in my Ravelry queue, I actually did just discover it was a wish list on Ravelry, which I think is cute, which is cool. My mom the other day was asking about what they could get, and I was like, oh, well, you know, I have a wish list. Anyway, I have a random thing. You still learn about stuff that you're working on, but so yeah, so there's that. And also about the farm, while Nolan allows me to talk about it, we had our first honey harvest, and I finally learned how to trust my suit. I didn't panic when the bees are, it's not panicking, it's always nerve-wracking to me to have bees flying around and to not think about how is that, did I zip up all the zippers? Is there a way for the bees to get in? And it's just, I don't know, when you first taste that honey, I don't really have words to describe it. It's not just that you know the bees worked hard to do it. It's also a year's worth of growth of personal growth, of learning how to take care of the bees, working with others and mentors to accomplish that goal, to harvest it, to take care of them, to be not only shepherds of sheep, but also kind of a shepherd of bees in a way. And it was just delicious. Bees did a really good job. You know, sometimes honey has different flavors, obviously, from the type of the flowers that I harvest in different types of year. This one was just a really nice floral, but not quite clover honey. It was just delicious. And so yeah, so we did a great job with the honey. So no one will settle. So I'll just kind of walk around and talk to you for a little bit, kind of quietly, because I'd love to just get this posted and what I can. But after the honey harvest, we separated the flock for breeding groups. We have a Shetland group and a Romney group. The Romney group with our Ram Carson, who's beautiful. I'll post some lovely pictures of him here. He's just the best. The kids can ride him. He's gentle, which not all Rams are. And then we have a Shetland ram who doesn't have a name. So if you have name suggestions, please send them our way. And then there's a couple of crosses. And if you're a hand spinner, sometimes those cross fleeces are like the best. And just for handle, in terms of like fun spinning, different characteristics, you get the best of everything. So we split for breeding groups. And then for my birthday, I think I might have mentioned it before, I asked Chase for I'm looking at the guineas are coming up to say hello. I know you got our raspberries that didn't come up this year, and then we're working on flower beds. Anyway, I asked for an extension on the chicken coop because there's a hawk. And I think we talked about this before because the fox is coming. So the chickens have been, I don't know, a couple of them have been scooped up in a guinea while we were at the beach. So I asked for an extension on the chicken coop because I guess I'd rather them just be cooped up than dead. Oh, sorry guys. I mean, who doesn't love chicken? And so Chase is doing a beautiful job, and I don't know, he just loves me so much. He just supports my crazy, and I know I drive him absolutely insane. Thank you, Chase, for putting up with me and always supporting my hobbies. But anyway, so I'm driving Chase crazy. I mean, he doesn't have to do it. He really doesn't. But anyway, he's been great, and the chicken coop looks amazing. The kids have been helping with the painting and with the wire. And it's just been a great time to be outside. It's getting cooler, so it's not as hard for Nolan to be out, even though he's still little. It's hot for him because he's in a carrier with me. So it's hot outside, and then you're hotter next to me because I don't want to leave him in a carrier at the farm because I'm afraid, I don't know, of stuff. I don't want to get stepped on. I don't want to get him, which sounds so silly because he'd be fine. There's like little nets that you can use. But anyway, so that's what I've been using. So those things have kept us really busy. The honey harvest, doing the extension, and the breeding group, which is like, so breeding groups is like a division. It doesn't take that long, but it's also doing flock checks. So it's still like deworming, checking eye colors, running through the chute, trimming hooves again, and just making sure that everyone's healthy going into the season, especially the rams. They've got to be super fat because I just don't think about eating during this time of year. And so for the Romneys, which is wonderful, they're very seasonal. So for the next, I don't know, month or two, they'll be in completely separate groups up until January. And then we don't have to really worry about it as much. They still stay in separate groups for a long time. But then, yeah, and then we don't have to worry about the rest of the year. So we're looking forward to the lambs in the spring. Hopefully they'll be here around February, March timeframe, which is usually when we shear again. So look for a shearing event, maybe in the spring. We didn't do one this last year because we were moving into the new house, but maybe this year we'll get back to it. Sorry, I hope that doesn't drive you guys crazy. Just look away if the swaying bothers you. I'm holding the camera with Nolan so he'll settle. But anyway, I hope that comes out all right. But yeah, if there's anything you ever want to hear about the farm or learn more about, just let me know. I'm happy to share about, you know, what we do here. So yeah, so thank you for sticking with us with our multiple interruptions and visitors. I'm probably going to put in Levi's video next, so enjoy. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Good. I'd say you're full, but
Hello.
Hello.
So this is Levi. He came out to say hello also. So last time you met Mason, this is Levi. And Nolan is surprisingly still happy in his little bouncer bouncing away. So I think that's all I had that I had actually worked on. I didn't do much spinning. I met with my spin group last month, but not this month. So the rest of that I've been doing is a ton of farm work. Haven't we been, Levi? We've been working on the farm so much. What did we do last night?
We got pills.
We did what?
I used a tractor with Daddy and him to a tractor, and I helped him play tractor.
Hey, and now we have Mason. So everybody's all here. Yep, is it good? So Levi helped me the most with the honey harvest, but it was mostly with spoons and the honey.
We were going in our house.
Oh, tell the story about the hornet in the house?
Yeah, in our house.
So we had a hornet in the porch, in our screened-in porch. So we have a Rottweiler. And he comes to the back door as if it's like a doggy door. I know we're having like a porch-side chat now with with T on a rainy day. It's beautiful. Just
I moved at a good place where horn was trying to sleep on a tree. And on that tree, right over there, that little horn was trying to sleep. And it waked up and went that way. It comes to go and he'll this. Oh, that's over where I was crying. I was doing crying. And Dad left me with a go-kart. And then it was so fast. And I couldn't see him. I was at with Will. But Dad was with me. So, and I was doing that crying. But she wouldn't die, so she got out and did noise. Well, she didn't die, so she got him. But don't let the noise, don't come through.
you're a good storyteller, baby. I just love you.
I tried that on there, but I keep in prison, but it's out. And I turned
Ooh. I did knit this. You want to wrap up with it? Yeah.
And I actually put on teacher. And I can
Okay. And the other thing is that the kids have just started back to school. So it's just been a crazy busy month. And so Levi started preschool. He's in the 3s class, like a big boy, aren't you? And Mason's in 1st grade. And we homeschool.
And I been in a big boy fire. In a big boy fire.